And because here are some people who are from Australian community, not just from Korean community, I'd like to briefly talk about the history of Korea, modern Korea, and also Australia-Korea relations, just briefly, in a few words. Actually, this year, 2015, marks 70th anniversary of the birth of modern Korea. As at the close of World War II, modern Korea was born, and tragically, it was soon divided between South and North Korea. So we couldn't help it because it was imposed by the big powers like East-West confrontation, Cold War confrontation. We couldn't help it, even though we didn't want division, of course. And soon, South Korea was formed under fair and direct elections sponsored by the United Nations. And South Korea was considered as the only and legitimate government on the Korean Peninsula. Based upon firm security regime, we were able to found modern Korea in late 1940s and early in 50s, based on the strength of firm security regime. And in the 1960s and 70s, we were able to pursue economic development, taking advantage of favorable international economic environment, and also through hard work and under able and visionary leadership. And in late 1980s, we were able to achieve successful political regime. And now we are pursuing more happier and wealth state. So how to provide wealth we have accumulated over the decades. And now we are more actively engaged in international community by providing, because Korea has been turned from aid recipient nation to aid donor nations. We have been more actively engaged in international community by providing development assistance and also by providing troops as part of international efforts to maintain peace by engaging in peacekeeping operations. So as part of our return of the assistance we have received during the Korean War. Just speaking of bilateral Australia-Korea relations, Korea's official relations with Australia, as you know, date back to 1950, about 65 years ago when Korean War broke out. Many Australian soldiers, like Australian veteran like Admiral Ian Crawford, who is here, shed blood, spilled blood, and made big sacrifices. We are paying tribute to their efforts and sacrifice whenever possible. So Korean Consulate is going to host on October 12th at Paddington RSL Club the luncheon for the Australian war veterans. And we are sending invitation to them, but because they are frail and elderly, and we are sad to hear the news that some of them has passed away already. So the number of people who have participated in luncheon of appreciation last year, this year's attendance maybe I'm worried that a little bit reduced. So we are cooperating very closely in various ways in politics, business, and economy. Economically, we are complementing each other, not competing against each other in international market. Korea has been importing coal and other raw materials and has been exporting manufactured goods to Australia. So based upon the free trade agreement which came into effect last year, we are going to further upgrade the bilateral economic relations.